It's late in August, so me and Zoe are going out just seeing if we can find any deer to film, look at, see. Say hi, Zoe. Good enough. So, can you sit? Thank you. So while we're doing this, I thought it would be a good time to introduce a very special episode of A Day in the Field.
I find myself as an adult in an interesting position. I grew up with parents who hunted and fished, with grandparents who hunted and fished, in a community that hunted and fished. Meaning the outdoors isn't my second nature, it's just my nature. But I now have gone from having outdoors people surrounding me to being one of the few many of my friends and family know. I've also learned that things I believed to be common knowledge growing up are anything from common to a great number of people. So I thought it pertinent to give those close to me a chance to ask me any question about the outdoors that they might have had, no matter what it is. So now, I will try and answer them in the best and simplest way that I know how. We haven't devoted a ton of time to fishing in these videos yet, but there were plenty of questions to come in about it. These first three lead into each other pretty nicely, so let's start here. What kind of fish are you fishing for? How big do they have to be to keep them? And do you ever keep them? I could get sidetracked on subspecies this and that, but we'll keep it basic. For the most part, in the Small Water Big World episode, we were targeting bass, and the two types are smallmouth and largemouth. The main way to tell them apart is simple. Largemouth bass have a more greenish tint with a visible stripe down the fish's lateral line. A smallmouth is more brownish with no real stripe down its lateral line. So, smallmouth, largemouth. Smallmouth, largemouth. You get the picture. Now, when it comes to how big they have to be and how many you can keep, I'm gonna need help from this graphic here. Every single body of water is going to have its own unique size limit and take limit for each species. But for bass in the South, this is a good average. Now to answer the question of, do I ever keep bass? And the short answer is, not really. I have kept them, I have eaten them, and they're good. But for the most part, there's a lot better eating fish out there, like this small yellow perch. Which leads us ever so smoothly into our next question. There are 1,000 ways to clean and prep fish for cooking. Whether you're filleting them, deep frying them, blackening them, gutting them and smoking them, even just scoring the skin and throwing the whole damn fish on the grill with a little salt and pepper. We'll start diving into a lot of these preparations very soon. However, on the Oregon episode, we made smoked perch dip. The only real prep that needed to happen in making this was to have the fish gutted, which means I made an incision on the underside of the fish and got, well, all the guts out. Hence the name. This question was actually a wake-up call telling me that I have not prioritized the kitchen and the food aspect of hunting and fishing on this channel as much as I should. So I 1000% promise we are going to spend a whole lot more time in the kitchen going forward. There were more fishing questions, but we'll make this the last one. How do you know which hooks or lures to use when you're fishing? There's a rule of thumb in all types of fishing that is called match the hatch, meaning your bait or lure should match whatever the fish are keying in on at that time of the year. Because of this, there are millions of different baits and colors and styles, some made to catch fish, others made to catch fishermen. There are poppers, stick baits, soft plastics, crankbaits, Carolina rigs, Ned rig, rooster tails, and that's not even including the completely separate genre of fishing known as fly fishing. Look, each angler has their own preferences on how they like to fish, and the only one who can tell them if they're right or wrong is the fish.
The next couple questions that came in were actually about specific scenes in turkey hunting episodes. So while I'm out here trying to get ready for deer season, let's take a couple seconds and take some turkey questions.
We'll answer these questions in tandem because the reason everything has to be camo is because turkeys have such good eyesight. It's commonly accepted that a turkey's eyesight is equivalent to us humans having our eyes plus a set of pretty powerful binoculars. So anything out of place will give them pause. That's why we use camouflage head to toe while hunting turkeys, so we can break up the human outline and make sure that we blend in with the surroundings. That's also why I can't just turn around and shoot, because if I moved, they would see and they would run before I even got set. Also, on the production side, if it doesn't happen on camera, it really kind of doesn't happen. So with no way to turn myself or the camera, I just had to let the turkeys win on this one. This question brings us to the immense topic of turkey vocalizations. We can get lost in the weeds here pretty easy, so I'll try and keep it simple. What you are hearing now is an alarm putt. This sound is made when a predator is sensed or simply when something doesn't seem right. It allows other turkeys that might happen to be in the group or in the area to know that something suspicious is going on. A lot of animals have a vocalization that conveys the same message. Whitetails make this sound. Other turkey vocalizations that you've heard me use throughout these episodes are cuts, which convey excitement, fly down cackles, which they do as they fly down from their roost, and the most common vocalization, the yelp, which is a greeting or gathering call used to locate other turkeys. The wild turkey vocabulary is vast and complex, so let's call this a good stopping point and move on to other things.
While I'm out trying to find another place to put one of these, I actually got a lot of questions about
trail cameras. They're basically just battery-operated motion sensor cameras that we hunters leave in the woods to gather information. Just pop in batteries and any kind of normal data-style SD card and set it out on a well-used trail or a food source. Whenever something walks by, the camera activates, taking either a picture or a small video clip, and shows what time and date the camera was activated.
Do you move these through the season? Absolutely. I've got 4 or 5, and they could be who knows anywhere at any point during the season. During the season, I normally don't have as many out, especially on public land, because yes, I am scared about getting them stolen. Luckily, knock on wood, I have not had any cameras stolen from me. I know a lot of people that have, but I have had SD cards from inside stolen from me. Most of the time, people are very polite when they see one. They either smile and wave, you might get a bird finger, but for the most part, people leave them alone. And, you know, it's just kind of part of hunting on public land. Some more stuff about scouting we can kind of hit pretty quick. How do you know what's public, or how do you know where to go? It used to be that you had to go to the county clerk and they would give you what they call a plat map, which shows you who owns what parcels of land and how much and the access that you had to it. Nowadays, you just have to go to your phone, and there are apps that will tell you all of that information. Let me get the light right. There we go. There are several apps you can use for this. There's one called HuntWise. There's one called Go Hunt. The one I use is called Onyx, and it just shows you all the information that you could possibly ever want. It costs like $100 a year. It saves me a lot when it comes to getting in trouble with old green jeans. Let's keep looking. I want to get in this next set of timber. A couple other quick ones we can go ahead and knock out. Do you ever get lost? Not really. When you spend enough time in the woods, you get a pretty good internal compass about where you are. With these apps, it also allows you to show where you're at, so that helps with getting lost too. There have been times where I've kind of gotten turned around and wasn't exactly where I thought I was, but I wasn't in any danger. Another question was, you know, you walk around pretty freely through all this stuff. Aren't you worried about snakes, ticks, ants, spiders, whatnot? And the answer is, obviously, I hate spider webs. Those are never any fun. Ticks you can't really do anything about. They're pretty much everywhere. So as long as you check yourself thoroughly, you're never really in any danger. Cliche, but snakes are more scared of you than you are of them. And for the most part, they just want to get out of there as soon as they know that you're in the area. Just watch where you step and you're really not going to have that big of a problem. We'll make this, get the light right again. And we're turning. I think? No, there's better. We'll make this the last one of the quick hitting round. Where are you when you do all this? That answer's easy. I'm not gonna tell you.
Let's take a small second to delve into the intangibles of life. Your thoughts and beliefs are directly correlated with the experiences you have in your life. Thus, the more you experience, the more you understand the what and why you think and believe. Every new thing learned or tried either changes the way you think or affirms your beliefs and your truth. I have been lucky to travel, talk, and befriend people from an extremely vast swath of human existence. And in that growth, my experiences have both changed and confirmed why I think what I do and the way I believe. As I go forward growing both my personal communities and the community of this channel, my hope is to be a soft landing spot for those seeking to broaden their horizons.